Hey, what's going on? This is Rob with robrides.com. That is my blog. I've been slacking big time on getting you training resources as promised, but this is video number one. I did write a blog. It's up on my website. It's been up for like a week. Haven't been doing anything with it because I have been waiting to get this video going. Just got a GoPro Hero 8. I'm going to try shooting some stuff on that. It just took a picture of me for some reason, but just try to get the videos going faster. If this works out good today, there will be more videos coming quickly, but I decided to start with an intro to structured training. And that's something everybody can do that has a bike. You don't need a gym, you don't need anything. It's just having a focus to your rides in your week of training. So why would you need structure to your rides? I guess there'd be three real good reasons to why structure would help. One, you're going to avoid plateauing. Two, you're going to improve fitness and skill set faster than just going and riding. Because the fact of the matter is, if you spend time on the bike, you're going to get better. But with just a little bit of focus, you can get better faster. And why the hell not get better faster? Because that's a no-brainer. And then three would be avoiding overtraining, because you're going to hit certain volumes, especially if you're training for racing and stuff, to where you're going to get into an overtrained state. And you got to understand that performance only comes in training well and recovering from that training. So that's where your deload weeks come into play. Tools you'll need for structured training. A heart rate monitor is great. I really think gathering data about yourself, and there's so much that you can learn from being aware of heart rates during training, that I would highly recommend one. I got the Apple Watch. It does great. There's a lot of fitness tracking deals out there, Garmin, all that other stuff. Those are all really cool too. I think bang for your buck, the Apple Watch is pretty damn good. And then the perceived exertion scale. I use heart rate and the perceived exertion scale in my training, and that does great. On my blog, I have a list of my 1 to 10 perceived exertion scale. A lot of them go up to 20, but I don't like to overcomplicate that, so I just go 1 to 10 because that works. Structured training, as far as for beginners, I'd say, yeah, you could structure your rides if you're new to mountain biking, but I would say it's really not necessary at that point. This would be more towards the intermediate to advanced rider, especially if you're racing. This is something you 100% need. Or if you're just spending a lot of time on the bike and want to progress your skill set, a little bit of focus can pay out dividends in the end. So I'm breaking all the rides down into three basic categories. And all I'm saying is that you should have three types of rides in your week. So I'm not saying you got to structure all of them, but there should be three rides done every week with a focus. One aerobic, one anaerobic, and one VO2 max ride. So for aerobic application, I'm going to say a ride is over an hour of duration, easy tempo, zone 1 or below, or a 4 on my perceived exertion scale. That's a steady state ride, keeping the heart rate consistent for the entire duration. An anaerobic ride would be something under 90 minutes total ride time, moderate to hard tempo, zone 2, or between a 3 and 7 on the perceived exertion scale. This would be something to where you'd warm up and you're gonna elevate that heart rate, and you're gonna not want to let your heart rate drop into that aerobic training zone for the duration of the training interval. And then the last one would be the VO2 max ride, and that could be total of a 90-minute ride. You know, you got to warm up and all this other stuff, but your work interval will be shorter, 1 minute to 5 minutes of work followed by full recovery. So your work is going to be a 7 or up on the perceived exertion scale, zone 3 or more. That's a puke fest right there, and then a full recovery. So those would be like the three different types of rides that you'd want to incorporate into your weekly riding schedule. Aerobic being, your long, slow distance chill ride, a conversational pace ride. Anaerobic, that's probably where most people spend the majority of time riding when you're riding a mountain bike. So I would imagine that to a more seasoned rider, that's going to be more developed in everybody. And the majority of your racing will be done in that. So it's an important one to be developed. The VO2 max would be the most intensive, and I'd say probably the most neglected one, just because of you have to have certain terrain that you can do proper VO2 max training on, and nobody really likes to push into that wanna puke zone. And probably the two that need to be worked on the most, and a lot of people are going to be the aerobic and the VO2 max ones. Just some food for thought. Like I said, if you're experiencing plateau or a lack of progression, starting to understand some of these concepts and gather data about yourself and really structure, whether it's weight training or programming for on the bike, is controlling the variables. Think about it like that. Work duration and intensity and frequency, all these are variables that you can control. And when you're in control of the variables, you can ensure success. And ultimately, if you're trying to improve, success is improvement. And you can do that. So again, I'm trying to keep this video kind of short. So this is more of like an introduction to structured training. There's so much that needs to be said about all this stuff. What I'm going to be doing is breaking down aerobic, anaerobic, and VO2 max more, because I feel like that's probably a 5-minute video on each one of those. So over the next couple weeks, I'm going to try and get that up and and going and stuff like that. All this stuff that I talked about is available on my blog, as well as I have like a sample week of what my ride schedule looks like and all that other stuff. So in addition to breaking down aerobic, anaerobic, and VO2 max types of rides, I'll give you examples of how to do that. I'm going to try and get some strength training stuff going your way too, because that's what I am. I'm a strength and conditioning coach, and not to just talk myself up, but I've worked with a lot of professional athletes, from MotoGP to the NFL to the NHL, all this other stuff. I have a great deal of information, and like I said, I'm just trying to make some resources available to my fellow mountain bikers. So I hope you enjoyed this relatively short video. Give it a like, give it a subscribe. I'm gonna have more stuff coming. If you have questions about this stuff, leave a comment. I'm really good about getting back to that. So like I said, kind of a short one, kind of a broad topic, but there's gonna be more finite discussions or blogs done about this topic. I'm just looking at my phone to see what this looks like. Hopefully this worked.